Yeah, okay, so the MLB recently made some pretty big groundbreaking changes to their rule system. They came out, I'm sure most people who watch hockey also watch baseball because they're in different seasons. The MLB banned shifts. They brought in pitch clocks.
Yeah, that's right.
So there's a lot of stuff that people hate. I think people are pretty objective on the fact that pitch clocks were a necessity, but banning shifts seems extreme, like extremely extreme.
I thought that was a big part of strategy in baseball.
And it was a very big part. And I think they're doing that because they want to encourage offense, because like that's how TV deals are driven.
Yeah.
I thought with seeing all of the controversy over Twitter and Instagram about these rule changes, I was going to ask, we can do like an NHL type theme.
Okay.
Are there any rule changes or like rules in general that you think are terrible right now and like kind of match this theme about the shift that immediately need to go back and should have went back as soon as they were brought into effect?
Well, like, I don't know if this has a big of an impact on the game as the shift does in baseball, because I feel like there's like a fundamental change to the way teams play defense. And I'm not very familiar with that sport, but from what I know, it's a big deal. Mm-hmm. But the one that I would like to see them get rid of, also because it's going to make the game more fun, is getting rid of the trapezoid that they have behind the net.
I heard about that.
And just let the goalies, like they do in international hockey, let the goalies play. Let Mike Smith go into the corner and get rocked by Milan Lucic.
Oh my God.
let them go.
You think hitting should be allowed on a goalie?
No, I don't think hitting should be allowed. But I'm just saying that because Mike Smith likes to dive a lot when he plays the puck.
That's fair.
I think it would be fun to see them do that. And it's also because when they brought that into the league, it's because Martin Brodeur was literally a third defenseman because the Devils played the trap. They forced teams to dump it in, and he would be there retrieving pucks and like clearing them out of the zone. But games not really played like that anymore. Dump-ins are a little more rare. Plus, teams are faster. They forecheck harder, and teams aren't playing like 1-3-1 in the neutral zone anymore. So I don't really think you need to restrict goalies as much because they're not going to have that big of an impact on the game. I think it would make the game a little more chaotic, so it would be more fun to watch for that reason.
I thought the trapezoid was put into effect to prevent injury, but what you're saying is it was to stop goalies from being involved?
I'm pretty sure it's because Martin Brodeur was just too good at playing the puck in like the early 2000s, and so they were like, okay, we need to change this. I'm sure it helps with injuries too, but I don't know if that was the NHL's primary concern at the time.
It would also add a lot of, like what you're saying, tenacity to the game is true. Like if two guys have like an insane like rivalry and they go into the corner together.
At that point, if a goalie's in the corner, like you're in the play now. Like when you're behind the net, it's a little different. You're not fully in the play and you're still around the net. But if you're in the corner, I don't know. I don't want to say you're fair game because I don't think they should be, but you're gonna get a little more contact.
You're fair game to be like taking the puck off of, not to get hammered. You're very vulnerable as a player.
Yeah, but you know if it's a 50-50 puck battle, the players aren't gonna shy away from getting in there. So.
Yeah, the only problem is a pissed off Milan Lucic might absolutely rock Mike Smith.
Yeah, he would literally take his head off.
And then there would be a line brawl.
And Lucic has a knack for that because he killed Ryan Miller
I
too.
remember that.
In open ice, he just
destroyed him. But people talked about that for a long time. Not saying this should be brought back in order to encourage that. That's objectively terrible.
Yeah.
But it would bring a lot more narratives when like a big forward goes into a corner to take a puck off of a goalie.
Lots of moments.
Yep. Okay, the one I have is a little bit less controversial. I'm going to say flicking the puck over the glass is an automatic penalty. I think it's stupid. I think it's so stupid. I get the rule for it, okay? I understand it was designed because people were doing it on purpose when they were hemmed in the zone in order to get a change, right? Yeah. But like right now, the whole reason that the icing rule was put into effect where you can't change was in order to disincentivize people for effectively doing the same thing, right? So why isn't automatically icing it on purpose also a penalty? Like what's inherently the difference? I genuinely don't get it.
I guess there isn't one from that perspective.
Right?
If the whole point is to prevent changes, then maybe just don't let them change.
And a lot of people might say to me, oh, well, you know, if you take this rule out, you're going to start incentivizing people to flick the puck over the glass and take those extra 3-4 seconds to take a breather. But I challenge that by saying, is anybody right now risking by icing the puck? Like nobody does that. Nobody does that. And there are so many times when you see like an objectively accidental play in like a very important Game 6 playoff where no penalties are being called. The only penalties are being called are the objective ones you have to call by the rules. A guy comes around the net. He's dead tired. He accidentally flicks it over the glass, and he ends up costing his team the game because the weaker team is a better power play team. I don't understand why they don't just make it like the icing where they go, okay, there's some judgment call on the ref's behalf. He goes, yeah, that seemed accidental or on purpose, and you automatically just like no change.
Yeah.
Is there?
I actually don't mind that.
Right? Like, why is a flicking over the glass penalized more than an icing?
I don't think there's actually like a logical answer. I think icing's always been a part of the game, so it's always been looked at as not an infraction. And then people started doing this on purpose, and they were like, okay, we got to penalize that. But the way you describe it, which is very logical, they're effectively done for the same reason.
Yeah, I remember when the whole reason they put that icing thing into effect because they're like, people are icing it on purpose. Let's stop it.
And that was a smart rule change.
Maybe the logic is so like fans don't get hurt, but there's netting.
They have the netting.
Yeah, and what's funny is that a lot of I actually watched something on YouTube. A lot of NHL defensemen are getting really good at destroying the puck off the glass and then letting it go out. And that's not a you can not only not get a penalty for that, you can also change. Right? So
exactly.
Right?
If it goes off the glass.
That's what I mean.
So might as well just let it happen.
Instead of disincentivizing a play change, you're incentivizing a 6'5" defenseman to rip it off the glass and throw it into the stands where there's no mesh. I don't understand it.
Yeah, I think what was I gonna say? I had a point to support you, and it literally just escaped my mind as we were talking. Oh, I don't think players are going to start flicking the puck over the glass on purpose. Like, they're still probably going to prioritize icing just because that's what they're used to.
100%. So. And if someone says they will, I would, once again, to repeat myself, challenge that by saying once that rule change was put into effect where the icing is not allowed to change, I have never seen one defenseman objectively ice it on purpose to get an extra few seconds of rest.
Yeah, they would rather clear the zone or flick the puck up where it's not an icing. No one's going to start ripping pucks into the crowd.
Exactly. Nothing makes me more mad watching a very important game be decided because some guy accidentally flicks it over to the point where he's going like, oh crap, like it was clearly an accident.
Yeah, it's like a buzzkill.
You're gonna put at that point, if it's the semis, 2 of the top 5 power plays in the league, that it's an automatic goal.
Almost at that point when teams are also tired. It is a kind of a crappy way for a game to end because it always happens in like the last 2 minutes of a game.
Yeah, I agree. I'm also a little bit pissed because that happened to the Leafs in the playoffs this year.
Mitch Marner, he loves a little flick over the glass in the playoffs.
And so. I mean, yeah, like even if you are not a Leafs fan, which you either are a diehard Leafs fan or you hate them, like you objectively hate to see a team lose because a guy
because of that
flicks it and looks up to the air and goes like, oh crap.
Yeah. Like it's true. That's like not. You're not losing the game because you're better or worse. You're losing the game because of this technicality, which is kind of crappy.
That's why they took shootouts out of the game too. Like we're trying to let the best teams win 5-on-5. Yeah.
Exactly. I agree. That's a good one. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please hit that like button and subscribe for more content. And find the link to our full podcast and all our socials in the description down below.
Also, don't forget to turn on those notifications to get live updates on new videos that we release.